Very good morning, my dear friends. Welcome back to Chandan Logics. You're watching English class. My name is Sham. So this is a very important session exclusively designed for banking aspirants. In this session, we are going to spend quality time on a very important section in bank exams called fillers. Basically, what is fillers? Fillers can depend on vocabulary. Fillers can depend on grammar. Fillers can depend on comprehension. So in this session, we are going to spend some very important time on fillers. So once again, welcome you all to the English class, and within 30 seconds, let's get started. So whoever is already on the live session, so be alert because this session is a very important session. And share this video to as many of your friends as possible, my dear friends. Okay, so let's get started. So you're watching Chandan Logic's English YouTube channel. Every morning you can see me on live, and every evening you can see me on live on Chandan Logic's Telugu YouTube channel. Okay, chalo. And Chandan Logics has a free course, and you can take this opportunity of the free course where many practice questions are there, and then police job aspirants can get English classes at a very reasonable price. So now we are talking about a very important section called fillers. So you can see a question on the board where there are 5 options, 4 options, or 5 options. This exercise is based on fillers. It is one way a kind of vocabulary test. Yes, my dear friends, waiting for your answer. Waiting for your answer. So there are 2 ways to handle questions like this. One procedure is you read the complete sentence, understand the sentence, then based on the meaning of the sentence, you actually find the answer. But there is a better way, my dear friends. You look at the given options first. You look at the given options first. If I were a student, I would always prefer following the shortcuts. So, if I were a student, I would prefer the shortcuts. Look at the options, my dear friends. If you see here, what is the meaning of the word assuage? So, assuage means reduce. Assuage is a kind of pacify. So, assuage is cool down, calming down, cooling down somebody or calming down somebody. This is the meaning of the word assuage. However, my dear friends, if you look at all the other options, exacerbate, abrogate, I can call circumvent, I can call repudiate. These 4 words are minus words. Assuage is the only positive word. The rest of the words are minus words, my dear friends. In detail, I will also give you the meanings of all these words, my dear friends. Be careful, be careful. So what is the meaning of the word exacerbate? So exacerbate means make worse. Exacerbate means make worse. Make the situation bad. Make the situation worse. Okay. And do you know the meaning of the word circumvent, my dear friends? So what is the meaning of the word circumvent? Circumvent is like bypassing. So which is nothing but like avoid. You avoid a particular situation. You bypass a particular situation. That is called circumvent, my dear friends. Do you know the meaning of the vocabulary repudiate? In a simple language, repudiate means reject. Repudiate means oppose. Repudiate means refute. So these are the meanings of the vocabulary. But above all, you don't have to be perfect in vocabulary. You can just manage accordingly because positive, negative of the sentence. Only assuage is a positive word. Exacerbate, abrogate, circumvent and repudiate are all negative words. I should also tell you the meaning of the word abrogate, my dear friends. So what is the meaning of the word abrogate? Abrogate is also cancel. Abrogate is also revoke, repeal. So Assuage means cooling down something, calming down something. Exacerbate, make the situations worse. Abrogate, cancel or revoke. Circumvent, avoid, bypass. Repudiate is reject. So what I'm trying to say is, except the first option, all the other four options are carrying a negative tone. They are carrying a negative tone. So naturally option 1 could be the right answer. But again, it is only an assumption. Should also read the meaning of the sentence. Despite the government's repeated attempts to dash inflationary pressure. Very simple, guys, very simple. Naturally, government will try to increase the inflation or decrease the inflation. Governments would always try to decrease the inflation. See, there itself you are already confident of the answer. You're already confident of the answer. But it's always important to cross check because we cannot take a risk at all. We cannot take a risk at all. Okay? Chalo. And what about the other options for the purpose of vocabulary knowledge? For the purpose of our vocabulary knowledge, we also can study the other options as well. So what is the meaning of erode, my dear friends? Erode means remove. Erode means eradicate. Erode means eradicate. Remove. Like we say soil erosion, like that. And what is the meaning of augment, my dear friends? Augment is increase. Augment is support. And what is the meaning of replenish? Replenish is also completely remove, eradicate, remove, eradicate. And again, if you see consolidate and ameliorate, which is like support. So if you observe, I think here on the right side, the vocabulary, I think first word is minus, second word is plus, third word is minus, fourth word is plus, fifth word is plus. So there you don't have the choice of going with a shortcut. But whereas the words on the left side, yes, of course, you have beautiful shortcuts to follow, my dear friends. You have beautiful shortcuts, my dear friends. I hope I am very clear. So the answer is the first option. Having explained almost like 10 meanings and 10 vocabulary, I will also explain the sentence for the sake of understanding the sentence. Despite government's repeated attempts to reduce the inflationary pressure through different monetary interventions, rising commodity prices continue to erode the purchasing power. See, if the prices are increased, people like us cannot purchase the products. For example, there is a milk packet which is 40 rupees, I will buy. But if the milk packet is 400 rupees, I will think to buy. I will not buy. So, if the prices are increasing, people's purchasing power will erode, decrease. So, purchasing power will be more if the prices are low. Okay, that is the meaning of the sentence. So, the meaning of the sentence is, even though the government tried to reduce the inflationary pressures, no use, because the prices are more and people purchasing power has eroded. That is the meaning of the sentence. I am not only explaining the vocabulary but also explaining the meaning of the sentence so that you will get that understanding skills as well. Let's go to the question number 2, my dear friends. Now try your answer. Either you read the sentence or you follow some shortcuts. It's up to you. Question number 2 waiting for you. Question number 2 waiting for you. Waiting for your answer. I think 50% of the vocabulary are repeated here. 50% vocabulary are repeated here. What do you think? Yes. If you see here, you don't really have to waste too much of time. Just go by the first part of the sentence. The bank's decision to dash stringent norms. So, the bank's decision to dash stringent norms. How easy this is? The bank's decision to dash stringent norms was intended to prevent reckless borrowing. So, bank decided to impose strict rules. The government decided to impose strict rules. The bank decided to impose strict rules. See how easy this is. Bank decided to impose strict rules. Now you can ask me a question, Shyam sir, why did you read the sentence? You usually tell us not to read the sentences. You usually suggest us to go by the shortcuts. Yes, we can try the shortcut, but the problem here is repudiate is a minus word. Repudiate is a minus word. Circumvent minus word. Resigned minus word. Impose minus word. Relax positive word. If you take that way, then option 1 should be the answer, but which is not. So that is why I never say follow the shortcuts blindly. I always say use the shortcuts and also cross-check them. Use the shortcuts but also have a cross-check. It's always important to cross-check. It's always important to cross-check. It's always important to cross-check. Okay. So the bank decided to impose some strict rules. See, some strict rules. But analysts warned that excessive restrictions could dash legitimate, stifle. Stifle means make very tight. Stifle means too much of pressure. For example, there is a father who decided to keep his child disciplined. So he started putting a lot of pressure on the kid. He started waking up the kid at 5 a.m. The kid is a 4-year fellow, 5-year-old fellow. But the father wanted the kid to be very disciplined. So he started beating the kid. He started punishing the kid for every small mistake. He doesn't want the kid to make noise. He doesn't want the kid to play. Then what happens is, if this father keeps on putting a lot of pressure in the name of discipline, that could stifle the kid's natural growth. That could stifle the kid's natural growth. So you can't use the word, you can't put too much of pressure, no, like that. Stifle means putting too much of control. Putting too much of control, okay? Right. So having given you the meaning of the answers, answer to the question, I will also try to explain the other options. So what is the meaning of the word resigned? Resigned means cancel. Resigned means revoke. Resigned means annulment, annulment. Resign means repeal. Resign means abrogate. Resign means abrogate. I think I have already told you circumvent is avoid. Circumvent is bypass. Circumvent is evade. Circumvent is eschew. Okay. I think repudiate is already over, but still I'll explain. So repudiate is reject. Repudiate is refute. Repudiate is deny. Repudiate is condemn. Okay. Now what about the options on the other side? Invigorating. So basically when we say invigorating, we say invigorating is very motivating. Invigorate is refreshing. Stifle means, I can say stifle means make, I can say tight. Stifle means make very tight. I think stimulate is also same. Stimulate is motivating. Expedite is speed up the process. Expedite is speed up the process. I think galvanize is also motivate. So that is the reason why I wanted to read the sentence. Because if you look at the options, the problem with the options is some are positive, some are negative, there are synonyms, there are antonyms, but you can't depend on shortcuts every time. So that is why I have to read the sentence. It's always good also to read the sentences. So actually bank decided to impose strict conditions, but some critics say if the banks are too strict, that will stifle the people's, luxury or comfort. Imagine there is a bank who said very strict rules and people will see what is happening. Okay. So stifle, no decisions taken by the government could stifle the fundamental rights of the people. Okay. Okay. So the right answer is impose. The bank's decision to impose. The bank's decision to impose. Impose is the answer. You can take a screenshot or write some running notes if you want. So there are 2-3 advantages in this session. 1, vocabulary you can learn. 2. Synonyms, extra antonyms, extra synonyms you can learn. 3. Understand the sentence also, that improves your reading speed. Let's go to the question number 3, my dear friends. Let's go to the question number 3. Answer the question in hardly 10-20 seconds. Yes, guys. Waiting for your answer. Yes. Anybody answer? Anybody answer? Anybody answer? Maybe here you can go to a little shortcut. Incendiary minus, conciliatory plus, acrimonious minus, dogmatic minus, belligerent minus. Assuage plus, intensify minus, aggravate minus, exacerbate minus, provoke minus. I think this is a very clear testament that you can confidently go to the second option, because second option is entirely reverse to the remaining options. Plus, minus, 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 plus. But nothing is the conclusion. Nothing should be the conclusion. We should always be careful to handle such crisis carefully, guys. Okay. So it's always better to read the sentence. The ambassadors carefully dash remarks. See, first of all, here is the answer. Ambassador, foreign ambassador. See, if there is an ambassador representing a country, he would talk in a very diplomatic way. See, the core job of ambassador is to maintain diplomacy. Ambassadors can't be very blunt or blatant. So naturally it should be only positive word. Or fine, the ambassador's dash remarks were intended to dash tensions between two countries. See, which ambassador will try to increase the tensions? Every ambassador will try to always decrease the tensions. It is a common sense. Why will a foreign ambassador deliberately visit another country and pass negative remarks against that own country? Does it show any meaning? Not at all. Who will do that? Naturally, correct? Okay. So option 2 is the answer. Option 2 is the answer. Having explained the option, answer 2, I will also give you other meanings as well. I think everybody knows the meaning of the word belligerent, correct? So what is the meaning of the word belligerent? So belligerent is very aggressive, ready to fight, like very aggressive, ready to fight. Like we use the word bellicose, like we also use the word pugnacious. So very, very belligerent, very, very bellicose, very, very pugnacious is the answer. Okay. I think all the other 5 words everybody knows. I have already explained a while ago. And dogmatic is a very nice word. Dogmatic means inflexible. The people who are dogmatic, they don't change, They don't change. They are very, adamant. They are very adamant. They don't want to change. Like they have a belief system. They have a belief system and that's it. They are fixed to that. They stick to that. They don't want to change at all. Okay. Now acrimonious is a nice word. So what is the meaning of acrimonious? Is very bitter, very harsh. Acrimonious is very bitter, very harsh. Like we say acrid, acrid. Acrid. Very bitter, very harsh. Very bitter, very harsh. And conciliatory is a beautiful word. Conciliatory means friendly. Conciliatory means very, very friendly, conciliatory, very friendly. Agreement, basically conciliatory is agreement, affable. Agreement, it's a kind of agreement, cordial, cordial, agreement. Like ceasefire. Today morning Hindu paper, there was an article of, there was an article on ceasefire. There was an article on ceasefire. America and Israel versus Gaza. And then incendiary. Basically, what is the meaning of incendiary? I'll give you one example. Incendiary is very close to provoke. Okay. Incendiary is very close to provoking. So incendiary is very close to provoking, very close to aggravate, very close to intensify, exacerbate. See, the red color underlined words are synonyms, which means something that leads to controversy, something that leads to anger. Incendiary remarks. You know, some people they pass incendiary remarks. Some people they pass incendiary remarks. Some people they pass incendiary negative remarks. Okay, that's called incendiary. Okay, that's called incendiary. Okay, incendiary. Some people they simply pass negative remarks. No, that's called incendiary. Okay, right. Question number 4. Question number 4. Waiting for your answer, dear. Most of the options are repeated. See, 90% of the vocabulary options are repeated. That's a good thing. Only if vocabulary is repeated, we get the chance to do the revision. Only if the vocabulary is repeated, we get the chance to do the revision. Yes. Waiting for your answer. Waiting for your answer. Yes, guys, waiting for your answer. Yes, guys, waiting for your answer. Let us go by any shortcut. Abrogate is cancel. Impede is stop. Curtail is stop. Augment is support, enhance. Undermine is reduce the value. Okay. Now let's try on the right side. Mitigate is decrease. Exacerbate is minus, make worse. Alleviate is minus. Attenuate is minus. Ameliorate is plus. Oh my God. I think the shortcut is not that easy now. So the problem is, it depends. For example, alleviate, I wrote here minus. But what are you alleviating? If you are alleviating poverty in the country, it is positive, no? If the teacher is alleviating the students' laziness, it is positive. If the teacher is alleviating the students' confidence, it is negative. So these vocabulary, generally the meaning is plus minus. But that again depends on the context of the sentence. I think this is slightly challenging. You need to read the sentence if possible. Because here is plus minus and here is minus plus. Okay. While artificial intelligence has the potential to dash productivity. Here the answer is already ready. Here the answer is already ready. Artificial intelligence has the potential to dash the productivity. You tell me. Artificial intelligence has the potential to dash the productivity. Is it plus or minus? See, because of the artificial intelligence, do you think the capacity is increasing or decreasing? Naturally increasing, no. Naturally, doubtlessly increasing, no. Naturally increasing, no. Doubtlessly increasing, no. Then what are you waiting for? Happily, on the left side, only one positive is there. Done. Fatafat. Argument. Done. Fatafat. Argument. The artificial intelligence has the potential to augment productivity. Augment means enhance. Augment means enhance. Augment means increase. So artificial intelligence has the potential to augment the productivity across industries. It's unregulated deployment. Now here minus comes. See, unregulated is minus. So now here minus comes. Exacerbate existing inequalities. So already there are inequalities which are existing. And now whatever is already existing, it becomes worse. So exacerbate. Exacerbate means already there is a minus, you made it big minus. See, this is minus, you made it big minus. This is called exacerbate. This is called exacerbate. Easy question dear. Easy question. Easy question. Okay. But I'll explain the meaning. Artificial intelligence is actually increasing productivity, but sometimes unregulated, unsystematic artificial intelligence could exacerbate the inequalities. See, the meaning of the sentence in one line is, technology will help us, but if you use the technology improperly in a disorderly way, then the same technology will kill us. That is the meaning. That is the meaning. That is the meaning. And my dear friends, I forgot to say congratulations to all of you because SBA clerk notification has come. I think I don't remember. I didn't get time to actually study that in deep. But I have heard and I have come across the notification of SBI. I am not sure how many vacancies are there. But anyway, it doesn't matter whether there are 1,000 vacancies or 10,000 vacancies. We only want one vacancy. So never look at the vacancies. Always just look at the syllabus. As far as the SBA clerk is concerned, and I think 2026 has plethora of opportunities coming on the way. I'm sure this journey, I think you can leverage the opportunity of SBA clerk, IBPSPO, SBIPO, like upcoming. I think Reserve Bank of India is also coming with a grade B notification, the best of the best. I used to have a friend. I had a friend working for SBI. I mean, Reserve Bank of India is RBI officer. But last few years we haven't been in touch because of our busy lives. But there was a phase when we were very, very close. We used to talk every often, and he was Reserve Bank of India officer. One day I went to his office. I mean, what we call quarters, RBI quarters, where he was living with his family, and he was newly married then, and he called me for the housewarming ceremony. And then after the housewarming ceremony, he took me to his RBI quarters, and he was telling me RBI job is something wonderful. He's a banker's bank. Maybe some of you can target RBI. The best part of RBI is you don't have to talk to customers. I think RBI is the only bank where customers don't go. RBI is the only bank where customers directly don't go. I never went to RBI. Did you? So we go to Canara Bank, we go to Punjab Bank, we go to any other bank, but Reserve Bank is the only bank where customers don't go. So you don't have that headache of dealing with customers. You only do background work. You decide. Like for example, you get the RBI job and your friend gets a job in Punjab National Bank. You call him and tell him, I'm your boss. You have to follow my instructions. I am the banker's bank. How pride it is. What a level of sense of pride. You're the banker's bank. You're the boss. You're the boss. Oh, Andhra Pradesh vacancy 0. So sad then. You're talking about SBI. Really, Jaya? Vishnu, is it true? SBI clerk, Andhra Pradesh 0. SBI clerk, Andhra vacancy 0. Which means like people of Andhra Pradesh cannot write SBI clerk exam at all. Is it true? I'm still in a shock. Jaya, are you true? Like, are you sure? I don't think so. The people of Andhra Pradesh cannot write SBI clerk exam. Oh my goodness. I still can't believe. How many vacancies in Telangana? SBI clerk? How many vacancies in Telangana? Telangana, how many? I'm curious to know. Oh my God. Why so injustice to people of Andhra for SBI clerk? I will talk to Abhijit. I will talk to Abhijit and the other two guys, and I will ask them to fight against injustice to Andhra. So still not reported. Oh, 280? 280 for Telangana and 0 for Andhra. Something is fishy. No. Let's not create a much more, what we call chaos based on that. Okay, right. Regional disparities cannot be encouraged. Okay, it was 260, 280 around for Telangana and 0 for Andhra. Oh, so sad. I think SBI clerk is actually a good opportunity because people preparing for PO, they will find clerk easy actually. But sorry, the students of Andhra, I feel bad. So, okay. So, question number 5. Yes, question number 5. The doctor cautioned the merely dash. Yes. The doctor cautioned the merely dash. The doctor cautioned the merely dash. Yes. Total 9,000 is a good number actually. But if that 9,000 can be distributed, but I think it depends on the vacancies of the particular branches also, right? The particular branches also. But I think still not a happy thing to know. I mean, not a happy news to know. There are 9,000 vacancies. There are approximately, let us say, 25 states or 30 states, for example, round figure. There are 30 states, 9,000 vacancies, maybe 30 into, 300 or 3,000. Yeah. No, 300, correct, 300. So if there are 30 states, for example, 30 states into 300 vacancies is 9,000. So that is why I think 300 vacancies around went to Telangana. So which means at least 100 could go to Andhra, no? I'm curious to know why that happened. Why that level of 0 vacancies happened. There should be some strong reason for that. So the people working in SBI, Andhra, they are not retiring or what? They are not retiring. They are not taking retirements. No vacancy. The physician cautioned that merely dash the symptoms, merely reducing the symptoms of the disease without identifying the actual problem is a temporary relief. Beautiful sentence, beautiful sentence, beautiful sentence, beautiful sentence. Surprise Bank of India. Nice. Surprise for Andhra, not for other states again. So the meaning of the sentence is, there is a disease. For example, I have cold. I'm getting cold every day. I went to doctor. Doctor gave me some medicine temporarily to reduce my cold, but he did not actually find the original problem of the disease. So that is the meaning. Without actually finding the actual problem, you are trying to reduce the disease, which is a temporary solution, which is not a permanent solution. See, which is not a permanent solution. See, these are all like synonyms: permanent, sustained. So this is all like permanent. This is all like permanent. It's like permanent, except this option. Okay, these are all synonyms. These 4 are synonyms, and this is only antonym: temporary. Temporary. Okay. Same is the case here. Exacerbate, aggravate, intensify, all synonyms. This is the antonym. 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 Question number 6. Question number 6. Yes, guys. It is about the law. The judge's decision to dash the earlier ruling. The judge's decision to dash the earlier ruling. Waiting for your answer. Yes. So the judge's decision to overturn means reverse, earlier ruling. Earlier ruling, see, ruling is not a king ruling an empire. When we say in judiciary language, in legal jargon, ruling means judgment. Okay. In judiciary language, ruling is judgment. So there was a judgment before, ruling means judgment before, but the judge now decided to dash the judgment, overturn. Overturn means cancel. Overturn means make it reverse, cancel. Was based on the evidence that the original judgment had been rendered based on dubious information. Dubious means doubtful. Because the earlier judgment was given based on the information which was not authentic. The earlier judgment was given based on a dubious information. There was some doubtful information. How can you give a judgment based on the information which is dubious? That's the question. How can you give a judgment based on the information which is dubious? So dubious is doubtful. Okay, that is the answer. Do you have any doubts about any other vocabulary here? I think, my dear friends, uphold is support. Uphold is support. And endorse and ratify is also, I think, very close, no? Uphold and endorse and ratify, they're all very close. Support. Okay. Vindicate means release from a problem. Vindicate is release. Release from a problem. Set free. Generally we say, not guilty. Tappu cheyaledu. In Telugu we say tappu cheyaledu. Not guilty. So release, set free, not guilty. Beautiful vocabulary. Veracious, very truthful, very honest. Veracious is very truthful, very honest. Veracious is very truthful. Veracity. Veracity is very truthful, very honest. Authentic is very original. Authentic is very original, very genuine, honest. Authentic is very original, very genuine, honest. And irrefutable, which is also same. You can't say no. You can't say no. You can't refuse it. Incontrovertible. It kuda ante same. This is perfectly honest. This is perfectly honest. This is perfectly honest. This is perfectly honest. Okay. Right. Question number 7, guys. Try the question number 7. Try the question number 7. It's about psychology, right? This is about psychology. Waiting for your answer. Are you seriously thinking about this question? Don't you find any beautiful shortcut here? Don't you find any fantastic shortcut here? The preposition is on, dependent on, fatafat. The preposition is on. So always take the help of prepositions, conjunctions, tenses. Dependent on. There is a simple trick to observe here. On is a preposition. On is a preposition. So dependent on. Okay. Right. I think you know the remaining meaning words. Autonomous, independent, both are same. Autonomous is independent. Indifferent means careless. I don't care. Indifferent is I don't care. Okay. Immune is very strong, very resistant. I don't agree. I don't accept to you. I don't agree. I don't agree to you. That's called resistant. That's called immune. Impervious and indifferent almost same, dear. The meaning is careless. The meaning is careless, unaffected. The meaning is careless or unaffected. The meaning is careless or unaffected. Careless or unaffected. Okay. Okay. Having explained the answer, I will also explain the meaning of the sentence. Individuals who constantly seek external validation. Validation means support. Everybody should say you are right, you are right, you are right, you are right. may become so dependent on social approval that they will find it difficult to make decisions autonomously. Naturally, no? Some people I have seen who always want others' encouragement. They always want others to say, you are right, you are right, you are right. They always depend on others' support. So then what happens is, one day they lose their ability to take their own independent decisions because they always want someone to support them. Done. Can you try the question number 8? Can you try the question number 8? Can you try the question number 8, guys? I think this is one way easy question. This is one way easy question. This is one way easy question. Okay. This is one way easy question. Okay. So attenuate, elevate, ameliorate, mitigate. I think these 4 are very close. Exacerbate is a different word. Exacerbate is a different word. Exacerbate is a different word. So what is the meaning of exacerbate? Exacerbate means make the things worse. Make the things worse. That is the only option which is different from the other options. That is different from the other option. That is different from the other options. So mitigate, ameliorate, alleviate, attenuate. Okay. Right. You look at the other options on the left side. And again, alleviate, intensify, suppress, eradicate. I think here you have again differences. Let us read the sentence once. The government failure to dash industrial emission. So, do you think the government failure to dash industrial emission? Maybe alleviate industrial emission is also fine. Suppress, intensify cannot come because industrial emission, why will the government intensify it? Either the government has to regulate it, alleviate it, suppress it, eradicate it. Has dash the deterioration. This is the main thing here. Already there is an air quality bad. Already there is bad air quality. So now the government failure to regulate that exacerbated the situation. See, already there is a problem. Already there is a problem. And that problem exacerbated because of the government's failure to regulate the industry emission. See, exacerbate is a very important word. Exacerbate is a very, very important word. Exacerbate is a very, very important word. See, India got independence in the year 1947. Almost like Akshara. India got independence in 1947 and we got the constitution ready and announced in the year of course 49 only the constitution was ready, but 50 we announced it. 51 we had first general elections. Almost like close to 8 years, 80. Still we are struggling. The reason is India has to see the competition with Singapore. India has to take America as the competitor. India has to take Malaysia as the competitor. The competition should be with developed countries. But the problem is, we see the competition between Kerala and Tamil Nadu. We see the competition between Andhra and Telangana. We see the competition between Delhi and Jharkhand. That's the real problem. India will grow if we start taking other countries as competitors, not internal competition. Question number 9. Question number 9. Very easy question. Very simple question. All simple words, no new vocabulary. No new vocabulary, all simple words. No new vocabulary, all simple words. See? All simple words. All simple words. I'll tell you something here. Discard is a minus word. Amend is a positive word. Repudiate, reject, minus word. Abolish, reject, minus word. Resigned is reject, minus word. See? I think on the left side, this is the only odd man out. But on the right side, I think it's a different case again. Implement, abandon, endorse. Yeah. Implement is a plus word. Abandon, minus word. You know, abandon means stop. Abandon is leave. Endorse is a plus word. Retain is a plus word. Promulgate is a plus word. I think it is easy now to find the answer. Easily you can find the answer here. Very easily you can find the answer here. Very easily you can find the answer here. Maybe some of you should know this. Promulgate means announce officially. When we say promulgate, it means announce officially. Announce officially. You announce something officially. That's called promulgate. The committee recommended that the policy be amended. See, there is a committee that gave the recommendation that the policy be changed, amended, rather than abruptly abandoned. So, the committee is giving a suggestion that don't abandon the policy. Don't leave the policy. The policy is good, but there are some loopholes. You amend the policy. You only make some changes in the policy. That is the meaning of the sentence. If you have any doubt anywhere in the question, you are welcome to ask. So there is a committee that gave the recommendation. Don't abandon the policy. You make some changes. You amend the policy. You amend the policy. You amend the policy. That is what the company is giving the suggestion. I hope I am clear. Let's go to the last question, maybe the last question in the session. So today we are discussing 10 questions, but not 10 questions. 50 vocabulary we are learning, and also we are able to understand the sentences perfectly. Maybe the last question today. This question is about professor education. The professor's lecture was so dashed that even students who had initially been dashed to the subject developed a keen interest. Yes, my dear friends. Waiting for your answer, dear. Can we go with the options? Can we go with the options? Can we go with the options? Incoherent, illogical. When we say incoherent, we say illogical. Tedious is very boring, very dull. And mundane is also same, very dull, very boring. Lucid is very clear. Lucid is very clear. Now, abstruse is tough. Abstruse is difficult to understand. Abstruse is tough. Abstruse is difficult to understand. Now, the professor's lecture could be illogical. It could be very dull, boring. It could be clear. It could be difficult to understand. Anything is possible, correct? It depends. We don't know what kind of professor he is. If he is a good professor, maybe his lecture could be positive or negative, correct? Now we should go by the sentence. The professor's lecture was so dashed that even students who had been initially dashed. So here should come minus. So here should come minus. But receptive is plus, wrong. Enthusiastic is plus, wrong. Fascinate is plus, wrong. Amenable is plus, wrong. This is the only minus. This is the only minus. This is the only minus. The professor's lecture was so dashed that even students who had been initially indifferent to the subject developed a keen interest in that. I think there is a correction that I should make in the sentence, because as it is, if you see the sentence, I think all the options are wrong. Because if the lecture was so abstruse, so difficult to understand, why will the students keep show interest? You understand? So there is an alignment error. I think we should understand it. There is an alignment error. I will make the correction here. It must be some typing error. So here should come lucid, correct? Here should come lucid. The professor's lecture was so clear that even the people who were in the beginning indifferent. So I think these two options must be in the reverse position. Then you will understand it. Am I right? Have you felt the same? If not, there couldn't have been the proper answer, correct? I think when the question paper was typed by the typist, maybe these two were typed in the wrong way. It is common. Errors, typing errors are common. Nobody can be 100% perfect. No human is impeccable. It's quite common. We should understand. So these two must be in the reverse position. Then it gives the right meaning. So actually the students in the beginning were indifferent to the subject. Indifferent means they have no interest to the subject. Indifferent means no interest, no care. They were unaffected. They were not interested. Those kinds of students also, because of the professor's lecture was very lucid, very clear, they developed interest. I tried to give you clear explanation for all the 10 questions and lots of vocabulary here. This section is called, this is not actually a session on synonyms, antonyms. This is a session just based on fillers, bank level fillers. Please make some good running notes. I am sure the session is useful. I'll see you in my next session. Have a great day, dear. I think word swap is also word swap was also done here. Very good. Have a great day.